Constancy by John Wilmot, Earl of Rochester. I cannot change as others do, though you unjustly scorn. Since that poor swain that sighs for you alone was born. No, Phyllis, no, your heart to move a surer way I'll try. And to revenge my slighted love, will still love on and die. When, killed with grief, Amintus lies, and you to mine shall call the sighs that now unpitied rise, the tears that vainly fall, that welcome hour that ends this smart, will then begin your pain, for such a faithful, tender heart can never break in vain. The stage is set. Most of the players are known. Killigrew of Clan Toreador, the acting mentor and director who lusts for Nell Gwynn, Nell herself, darling of the planks, and the twinkle in the eye of King Charles II. Orange Moll, the brothel madam and follower of Set, who chafes under the rule of men, and has a plan to use Nell to bring the monarchy to its knees and teach the lords of the city some humility. And of course, the Earl of Rochester himself, also known in certain circles as Lady Artemisia Willoughby of Clan Cappadocian, whose entire family has been destroyed save for her brother Dario Accardi, and the pirate queen Amar the Lamia, who was once charged with protecting Artemisia. In the wings wait the Ventru Prince of London, Solomon Valens, and his sheriff, the dreaded Gangrel Lord Woolcroft. And so, yes, the stage is set. But the theater is ever a space where anything can happen, and the audience now wait with bated breath what might come of this third act. Amar in Rochester. It was but a few hours ago that you finally saw plainly your love and desire for each other, under Orange Moll's careful guidance, and in a copper tub filled with the crimson vitae that gives you life. You at long last tasted of each other, and found pleasure and meaning in the touch and feel of each other's flesh. As fingers and lips caressed throats, mouths melted into each other, and your bodies and hearts intertwined in the fullest, most insistent and hunger manner around each you realized how hot burns the flame that several centuries could not extinguish. Artemisia, you showed your true self for the first time in so long, abandoning all artifice and standing vulnerable and pale before Amar's golden eyes that moved upon every inch of your body as the sun once did long ago, and warmed you to the very core just the same. Amar, you set your passion free, letting your own guard down, letting Artemisia's touch cool the fires of your sand-kissed skin, drinking deeply from her chalice and exulting in the sweetest taste to ever drip down your throat, anchoring her drifting soul to the altar of the pleasure you shared. Under Moll's watchful eye and experienced guidance, you found each other, and for a few hours, your light burned brighter than that of ancient Pharos itself. But now Moll is gone, as so is Nell, both taken by Killigrew. Artemisia, you are Rochester once more, the wooden cock in your pants granting you a strange kind of swagger and confidence you did not need in Amar's arms. Your goal? To intervene with Prince Valens and sow enough confusion and discord, your speciality. On stage to let Amar do her own work in the darkened wings. Amar, your business as always, dark and shadowy, is to find your first mate Morag and the rest of your crew at the George Inn, and rescue Moll and Nell whilst Rochester keeps all eyes on him. Silvertongue Eddie loiters nearby, waiting to guide Rochester to the prince. You have a few moments to say brief goodbyes.
Amar tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, looks at her, says, I've lost you before. I won't lose you again. Courage.
Be safe out there. Yeah.
Well, you're dealing with theatre people. I'd say that's a damn sight scarier than pirates.
I will try to not be a fool again and believe those that I shouldn't believe.
I have a sworn duty to keep you safe. Now, that was once a bit of a different dynamic now, wasn't it? Now, keeping you safe. Oh, there's so much more to that, right? Because what's keeping a small little bird on a golden chain safe when perhaps we could take flight, see the world, live? No need to play it safe anymore, I dare say.
Then perhaps we rewrite that oath into something new, something ours. An oath that instead of you keeping me, we keep each other. And we keep each other in happiness.
Well, you're the poet. Go on.
I merely dress as a poet.
You certainly do. And Amar reaches her hand down and grabs hold of the wooden cock between her legs. Yes, you dress quite the part, don't you, my little chameleon?
I look forward to shedding this skin. Finding something new at your side.
I dare say the facial hair is rather dashing, but I don't know. I miss that mournful little ghost.
Well then, perhaps we should pop off. Get to work. Time's ticking.
Right. Of course. Won't be long. Just keep your wits about you. I know you will.
And you the same. She leans in to Amar for a kiss.
Amar leans back, and it is a kiss for the ages. Passionate and warm, not subtle and soft. We finally crossed that threshold, and Amar has no indication of going back now.
It's well received. Maybe even a little squeeze of the butt. Just a reminder who she's pretending to be right now.
Well, my love, I'll see you shortly then.
Soon. And Artemisia turns and rushes from the room.
Amar watches on the way out, takes a deep breath, rights herself a little, and heads out as well.
The George Inn, where you left your merry band of seafaring marauders, is a very popular and well-known inn near the theater district. You arrive there at this particular point, fairly early still in the evening, as you and Artemisia had just woken up when you learned of the current situation with Kilgrew and the others. You get there, and as it is a night of theater, the place is not overly packed. Most of the people already at the various theaters around the area. The place will refill once the evening's entertainment is over. As you step inside, you find your gang. Some of them ghouls like Morag, others humans, who know there's something different about you, but know better than to ask questions about it. Taking up most of the space in the common room. Drinks are flowing, and while they're not being boisterous, they know better than to draw too much attention to themselves. They are enjoying themselves. As soon as you walk in, Morag sees you, and as your right hand person, your first mate, she jumps up immediately to her feet and rushes to you and says, "Oh, there you are. I thought something had happened to you. We didn't we didn't see nor hair nor hide from you yesterday. Everything all right?
Oh, fine, love. Just a bit indisposed.
Well, at least you're here. We have everybody else just waiting. Are we moving soon? Do we have a plan? How did the negotiations with the Far East Trading Company go?
Well, negotiations went as one would expect with a company that deals in shitty dealings. And Amar kind of ducks down a little bit and scans the area and just kind of gets a glimpse of who's here, so as not to draw too much suspicion, despite the fact that there are fucking pirates in the inn. And she almost conspiratorially just leans in and says, we're now allies of Orange Moll, and she is very keen to stab at the heart of the patriarchy here in the city, if you catch my drift.
Orange Moll, the prostitute.
She's a madam. She runs a brothel.
Well, strange times make strange bedfellows, I guess. I, of course, trust you implicitly if you say this is what we need to do. And just how are we going to be striking at the heart of all this trouble, then?
There's a set plan. We have our part to play in it. There's to be a play tonight. I know it's a play every night this time of year, but at Covent Garden there's a play. There will be some people in attendance. The production of Dr. Faustus. I don't know if you've heard tell about it. Well, there will be several important people there. And we have an idea of how to use one Nell Gwynn. And after that, we get her and some others to safety.
Morag gives you a look and turns around, grabs a couple of steins of beer that are lying there, puts one back right away, and then hands you the other one, and as you take it, says, "Madams and actors and stage plays."
Oh my.
What exactly have we stumbled into here, Amar?
Well, honestly, I'd rather be tangled up with writers and poets and theatre people than these trading companies. Quite frankly, I think there's a code of ethics that goes along with them. That certainly is not permeating the rest of the city when it comes to religion and commerce. So I think that an insider plan to utilize something like the arts, which people think of as frivolity and a passing fancy, bread and circus, that maybe that would be the way in. Maybe that would be the way to rewrite a little history.
To be honest, Captain, I think that may be fine and good for you and for me, but looks over her shoulder at some of your other people who are very much of the rough and tumble type and says, I don't know to what extent most of these louts will be interested in pursuing that agenda. We can certainly put it to them, and you've certainly earned their trust and their loyalty, but I would certainly also say that some of them may take a bit more convincing than others. Is there money? It's the point I was trying to get to, do we have payment for this, or are we doing this out of the goodness of our little tainted hearts?
Make any suppositions about whether or not you would do this out of the goodness of your heart. However, we have contacts, people willing to help us on a financial engagement. No one works for free.
All right then. And when is all of this happening? Is this something that I should be getting the rest of our friends here ready, or can we order another round and enjoy ourselves for a while longer?
I would say stay on your guard, but one more round of drinks wouldn't do harm.
Very well, I think that. And as she speaks, you notice that slowly but surely the room has been emptying. Everybody else that was here that's not part of your crew has been getting up, walking out, very subtly, so that it didn't appear like anything worth knowing at first, but now you can see that most of the room has been emptied out.
On second thought, lasses, this looks a bit suspect, and Amar will stand up subtly and take some of the glassware back to the bar top.
As you approach, you notice that the innkeeper is also gone. There is the door behind the bar just sort of closes on him as he exits stage left.
All right, girls, fall out. This smells fishy.
And then you hear it from outside. We are here for the pirate queen, Amar. The others are of no concern to us. If you shall lay down your arms and walk out peacefully and leave the witch to us, the rest of you may walk free. You will of course be expected to leave the city, for the city does not countenance pirates, but as long as you do not interfere with our royal duty to apprehend the criminal pirate Amar el-Din, then the rest of you may walk free.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And Amar gives a glance over to Morag and says, "You know your duties. There'll be coin."
Morag is looking out the window, and she says, "Is that bloody Lord Moncrief? He looks like he just stepped out of a brothel."
Certainly smells like it too.
Well, he's got a lot of men, I count at least a dozen. All Kingsmen. Amar, what did you do this time?
Well, nothing. Except, catch him in the act with one of Moll's boys. So, he probably doesn't want me spreading that rumor around now, does he?
Well, he certainly brought enough men to try and put pay to it. She turns around. "All right, you lot. No, I don't want to see a single one of you scurvy rats ready to turn tail on Amar here. This is our captain. This is your captain. She has seen us through worse than this. Now, tell me, am I wrong about you lot, or are you going to stand by our captain here?" And the rest of the crew, some of them hesitate for a little moment, but eventually all of them start standing up and pulling out cutlasses and loading flintlocks and making sure everything's ready. And as a good crew does, they're not boisterous, they're not making noise about it, they're just quietly and steadily getting ready for what's to come.
I love the smell of a good tavern brawl in the morning.
I think it's going to be a bit more than a brawl, but I'm with you.
Very well. And Amar stands up and draws weapons and kind of cracks her back a little. Shall we?
I'm not sure about this fighting on land thing. Feels a little strange.
I don't disagree, but we've got land legs, so we might as well use them, and there's no getting out of it otherwise.
Morag nods and goes and walks behind the bar and looks around a little bit and pulls out a bunch of earthenware jugs and puts them on a counter and says, I have no clue what this is, but it's on the house. Drink up, boys. It might be your last chance. And she takes out her cutlass and she swings them atop and pops most of the bottles' tops off as they clatter and explode. And the men just sort of all gather, the men and women. Your crew is most of them all kind of gather around the bar and all grab a jug and pour some water. And you grab one and you see the imprint at the bottom of the jug from the distiller of this particular grog, and it's House of Malort.
All hail. And Amar takes a swig of it just to get the sense of the ABV, the potency of this alcohol. How potent is it? Just out of curiosity.
You're pretty sure you never have to worry about scurvy the rest of your life.
Excellent. Amar then will take a bit of bar rag from behind the bar and tuck it in there and walk over to the front door and probably find the nearest light and light the end of the towel and hurl it out into the fray there out front. Might as well start with a bang, eh?
As soon as you open the door, the soldiers outside open fire as your homemade Malort bomb flies towards them. Meanwhile, across the city, Rochester, you arrive at the theater. The play is on. Currently, you can tell that the house is packed. The night hangs close and expectant over Covent Garden Theatre, where every seat from pit to gallery is taken, the theatre fit to burst at the seams for this avant-premiere. The air within is thick with candle smoke and the heat of gathered bodies, though none dare complain, for upon the stage moves a spectacle the likes of which London hath scarce seen. This is Dr. Faustus, brought to life by the hand of Master Killigrew, whose name hath long graced both the boards and the court, but never so solemnly nor so powerfully as now. The theatre, though newly adorned with gilt and velvet, seems half vanished into shadows. The chandeliers above give their light grudgingly, and every corner of the house seems to lean inward as though straining to hear. Upon the stage, Faustus speaks, his voice steady yet edged with mortal dread. Settle thy studies, Faustus, and begin to sound the depth of that with which thou wilt profess. His words strike deep, not merely in the fiction of the play, but into the very hearts of those assembled, gentlefolk, scholars, rogues, and whores alike, all made equal beneath the weight of what they witness. His Majesty, King Charles II, watches from his royal box, clothed in midnight blue and gold, his gaze fixed and unblinking. A hush surrounds him, not by decree, but by enchantment. For none about him dare break the spell. He does not smile, he does not move. His goblet rests untouched. Even the court dandies at his side seem pale with awe. Killigrew's direction lends the play a terrible majesty. Mephistopheles appears not with thunder and brimstone, but with quiet step and a voice smooth as polished glass. Why, this is hell, nor am I out of it. His eyes catch the candlelight in unnatural ways, and there are those who whisper he wears no mask at all, but shows his true face. All know the actor as Anatolus Grey, celebrated throughout London's reborn theatre scene, but few know the truth, that he is more than just a man. He is Nosferatu, and his The formed visage and baleful eyes are indeed no mask at all. The set is spare yet exacting, a scholar's desk, a skull, a great book bound in black leather, all cast in such light that they seem to float in some other world. Smoke coils from the wings, and unseen voices murmur in Latin. Whether actor or spirit, none can say for sure. The stage has become a kind of altar, and Faustus its doomed priest. As the final hour nears, the very timber of the theater seemed to groan. Faustus, now desperate, cries out, "Oh, I'll leap up to my God, who pulls me down?" And in that moment, there are some who will swear they saw a shadow pass across the royal box itself. Was it a trick of the lights, or something darker? When the curtain falls, there is silence, for several heartbeats before the audience erupts in rapturous cheer. Tonight, Dr. Faustus will not be merely performed. It is revealed, and Master Killigrew with flame and shadow will have written his name not in the playbill, but in the soul of the ages. And amidst the noble company and rustling finery, seated in the shadowed fringe of the king's own presence, there lingers another figure whose name is rarely spoken, though oft felt. Solomon Valens, prince of no court recognized by parliament, yet sovereign in his own grim dominion, attends in silence. His long dark hair, parted smooth, falls like silk upon his shoulders, and a thin mustache curves with disdain above lips that seldom move. He is clad all in black, velvet and silvered thread, fine as any noble's garb, yet touched with something colder, more enduring than fashion. His hands, pale and gloved, rest motionless upon his cane, though none believe he needs it. The ancient Ventrue makes no stir, speaks to no one, drinks nothing. His presence is a shadow unto himself, dimmed perhaps in deference to his majesty, yet unmistakable. Some few glance toward him, then quickly away, as though meeting his gaze brings a taste of grave soil and bitter ice. And though the theater is thick with artifice and illusion, none who see him mistake him for what he is. For his eyes gleam not with reflected light, but with something older, something that knows. When Mephistopheles utters, "Hell hath no limits, nor is circumscribed," it is toward Valens that several heads turn unbidden. Even Anatola's grey gives the shadowy figure the barest of nods in acknowledgement of the true power in London. He does not applaud, he does not rise, yet there are those who say they see Valens smile occasionally, slight and without warmth, as if the play's moral pleases him, or confirms some truth long known. In a night of shadows and forbidden knowledge, he alone seems untouched by horror. Perhaps because he belongs to it, much as you do. As you approach the prince's box, you see the gangrel sheriff Woolcroft standing guard. His eyes burn as he watches you approach. Do you want to do anything or prepare anything before you approach these powerful kindred, Lord Rochester?
Oh. Let's see. I think... No, I think Artemisia is walking with an air of pride in her step, as the Earl would, a bit of swagger, making his way toward the box.
Given everything else that's going on, do you think that you have any thoughts or feelings about Killigrew's big success here tonight?
There's probably a little sneer on his lips.
You take a moment, dust yourself off, make sure that your shirt is arranged correctly, make sure that your wooden phallus is well outlined in your pants. You make sure your mustache is nice and set the way you like it, and just as you are about to take a step forward towards Lord Wolfcroft, the sheriff, to demand access to the prince, you hear a voice that you know so well yet haven't heard in quite some time, coming from the shadows right next to you. Good morrow, sister. It's been such a long night since last I got to lay eyes on you. Yet, you look a little different. But I would never mistake that smell. And out of the shadows, your brother, Dario, steps out.
Get the sound of his voice initially. Artemisia freezes in place. Her entire body goes rigid. Her eyes narrow, and she slowly turns her head toward him. You sniveling worm. How dare you show your face now and here?
Time is what we make of it. There is no place a member of our proud blood cannot go. We may have been laid low by the Giovanni. We may have to hide who we are for the time, sweet sister, but we remain the blood of Cappadocian himself. The night belongs to us, and wherever the dead hold dominion, and they certainly do here after those devastating fires, well, we make our home. I see you have made yourself at home. What is, and he motions and then just plucks a curl off your head. What is all this? Not unfetching, but is very different.
It's called surviving. Dario, what you left me to do. Remember, when you left me with nothing, I had to make something. Here I am. Isn't it foul? And how dare you call me sister? How dare that word escape your lips? You are no brother of mine.
Tell that to our dear deceased father. True, we may not be mortal kin, but the blood that runs in your veins is exactly the same as mine. Our father was a great man. He may have died at the hand of the Giovanni in Constantinople, but his will, his dreams live on through us, and just because you have decided to take a little bit of time off to whatever it is you're doing here, doesn't mean that his dreams are not to be pursued still. And that is what I am doing, trying to save what's left of our family and bring it back where it belongs. I see you're otherwise occupied.
I have not forgotten the blood that runs through my veins, Dario. Don't be a fool. Our father was a great man. I miss him dearly every day I think of him. But what are you? Do you think yourself an image of our father?
Well, to be honest, the things I've had to do would probably make him roll over in his grave if he was in one. But I have made something of myself. In the most unexpected place of all, I have made a name for myself among the Giovanni.
Those who sought to wipe us out.
Yes.
What a snake you are.
Snake in the grass, perhaps. I've carved myself an empire among them, and I have plans. There are others who work with me, are on my side, and we are preparing. The time is not quite right yet, but one day we will be the harbingers of their doom. And that is why I want you back on my side. It is time for you to stop playing. It's time for you to come and reclaim your birthright, your name, your face, your blood, your righteous place. And it's time for us to make these Giovanni dogs pay for what they did to our people.
I have no intentions of standing at your side ever again. Not after what you did to me. Not after what you put me through, and then you left me. You left me all alone. And for you to come back. I know your lies now. I know that Amar is alive. I've seen her with my own 2 eyes. For so long you convinced me that she was dead.
I thought she was. That is what Decimus told me.
Oh. Is that what Decimus told you?
Yes. You were there. He told us at the same time.
Right.
I didn't know anything more about Amar. I'm surprised to hear that that little snake still lives.
I fail to believe you. I feel that it was a plot against us both.
I'll have my words with Decimus when the time comes. I know where he is. But for now, you may decry some of the things that we've done together in the past, but I certainly didn't hear you complain when we were doing them. If you have remorse now, you have a strange way of showing it, living the life that you lead now. I would say that you've taken the lessons we've shared to heart and have decided that they are to be a constant part of who you are, even of your identity. At this point, you used to be such a sweet, innocent girl, and now look at you, the most debauched man in all of Christendom.
Befouled by your own brother. I am what you've made of me, I guess.
You've been leading a life of lies, an empty life. It's devoid of real passion. We had passion. 100 horrors cannot make up for the fire that lingers in one passionate embrace, he says as he comes close to you and grabs your chin between forefinger and thumb. There are certain things you cannot deny.
I hate you.
What are you doing here? Why are you rushing to the prince? So, you're in a spot of trouble, sister.
Trying to save lives is what I'm doing. Have you ever heard of that before? Have you ever tried it?
My entire life's work has been to serve and save our people. So yes, I have. And my reason for being here right now, stepping out of the shadows dustly, is to try and save yours. You've been betrayed. The man, Kilgrew, he's already talked to the prince. He's convinced him that you and some other person named Orange Moll have some sort of plan to unseat him. Have you begun interesting yourself in regicide, dear sister?
Perhaps I just feel as some men need to be put down. Like the dogs they are.
Indeed, and what's your plan? What's your plan to save yourself now and Amar, I guess, in this Orange Moll?
And a girl.
The girl?
Nell. A girl that everyone seems to have taken such a fancy to.
Even I've heard the name. There, sister. I've come to the city to get you, but I've also come to negotiate a sizable loan to help the prince rebuild London after the fires. I'll tell you what, I have some sway with him. He needs my money. If you agree to give up whatever this is and return with me, if you agree to be mine once more and join me as we bring back the honor and glory that our clan deserves, as we bring hell and vengeance to the Giovanni who destroyed our family and killed our father, I will talk to the prince, and I will get him to release the others.
How am I to trust you?
Trust is a luxury, Artemisia. It is a luxury, one that you cannot currently afford. You have to decide what means more to you, your own freedom to live as this farce, or the lives of these other women you seem to think the world of.
And will it be as the same before? Will you use me and leave me again?
My plans are now bigger than you and I. I would rather have you at my side, but I didn't do the things I did because I wanted them regardless of what you wanted. I did them because I thought you enjoyed them too, and that was certainly the impression you gave me, but sister, you mean more to me than any of that. If having you in my side, having you help me restore our bloodline's name to its proper place, means that is all we share, then I am fine with that. I thought you enjoyed yourself.
What was I to do? There was no one left for me. She steps into him, very close to his face. I will do as you ask, but I will have you know that it is not for you. It is not for me or the name of our family. You do well enough to disgrace it. But it is for those women, and it is for Amar. You will protect her. You will make sure that she is safe, as you say, or you will rue the day, brother.
He looks at you for a moment and then reaches up, slowly pulls your hair off of your head, and then with his thumb wipes away the mustache over your lips. Agreed. Put away this ridiculous garb and that wooden cock, and let us be as we were, brother and sister, and let us achieve our father's dream. You'll no longer need these things. As you stand in front of your brother now, your protective accoutrement removed, your mind racing as to the implications of all this, you hear it start, a few voices from outside, And then the cry grows and then gets louder and louder, and eventually it is repeated inside, "Fire! Fire!" Screams echo throughout the theater. In mass, people stand up, screaming, start rushing outside. The memories of the fire of London, so fresh in everyone's mind. In moments, the room is emptied. All of the theater goers gone, the actors left alone on stage to wonder what should they do next. And you see the prince talking to the king, and the king making his exit. Fire, comes the screams, and outside, back at the George Inn, the situation is dire, Amar. Fire has spread throughout the inn. Several of your men lie dead at your feet. Several of the soldiers are dead also in the streets. And in the inn in front of you, there is blood everywhere. You yourself have taken a few wounds, but are not too hampered. You have been hesitating, perhaps, not wanting to reveal too much of your true self, your true nature in the here and now, but the situation is getting desperate. You know you will not be able to resist the fear of the flame for very, very long. You know that once you lose control, none will be safe. Not even your own men, not even Morag. If you lose control, you will kill each and every person that stands in your way as you attempt to get out of this building. Things have to happen soon. You see soldiers engage with your men. You see Moncrief himself standing in the back, yelling orders. You know he has to go. If he buckles, if he dies, then perhaps the others will flee, leaving you some space to move. But what do you decide to do?
I'm presuming that I've got perhaps a dagger in my boot. Would that be a safe assumption?
Sure.
Very well. I'd like to pull that out of my boot and level it right. As I'm watching Moncrief, is he using a pistol? Is he just barking orders? What am I seeing with him?
He has a rapier and a pistol. He hasn't used the pistol yet. You see he's got another pistol tucked in his belt. He is directing his men, and he, for all his other faults, is a masterful tactician, someone with a lot of experience, and he is doing his job well. He is directing his men exactly the way they need to be directed and bolstering them and giving them confidence. And you can see slowly the tide starting to shift, and your own men who, while some of them do love and respect you, most of them fight only for money, are starting to see that there's not a lot of money in being dead. And you fear that soon this tide may wash over and break your men.
Very well, so let's bypass the fucking pleasantries, and I'm going to level that dagger right at Moncrief's eye.
Right, you are. Hold on. You're going to make a combat roll. You're going to roll. You're going to roll a d10. You're going to roll. Let's see if you have hunger. Actually, give me. You should be at 1 hunger, and then give me a hunger roll. Actually, to begin with, roll a d10. If you roll 6 or above, you will not get another hunger.
That's an 8.
Excellent. So you're at 1 hunger. So you will roll 1d10 plus 1 hunger dice. You will add to that your physical, which is 7, and plus 1 for your combat skill.
It's a 9 and a 5 on the hunger, and then I'm adding a 7 and a... Sorry, you said combat. Wait. 8? Is that...
Yeah, so 7 for your physical and +1 for your combat.
Excellent. So that would be an 18. Do I count the hunger die points or just...
Just a regular die.
Excellent. So yeah, I've got a 9 on that die. And then I got... I'm sorry, it's been ages, love, since we played, so...
Yeah, so that's fine. The hunger dice only matters if it rolls a 10 or a 1. You whip the dagger across the room at him. Your throw is quite good. He himself is no slouch, so let's see if he manages to get a little bit of a parry in there, perhaps. So that's a 9. He does, in fact. So what happens, you were whipping it at his eye, and he sees it just at the last second, and he batters it with his rapier. It spins off to the side, and it catches him in the leg, wounding him, but it doesn't give him the killing shot that you were hoping for, and he sees you, and he levels his pistol and shoots at you. You can go ahead and make another roll. You're going to make again the d10 plus 1 hunger dice, and you're going to add 7 plus combat as he shoots you, and you're going to attempt to dodge.
Am I adding the 7 plus 1 to the number on the die, or to the fact that it was a success at a 6 or higher? For example, on the last one, I rolled a 9, so would that be 9 plus 7 plus 1, or would it have been 1 plus 7 plus 1?
9
so,
plus 7 plus 1.
All right,
the number
excellent.
plus the attribute plus
just
1 for the skill.
confirming, love, thanks. Oh, goodness. That's a 10 on the regular die, and that's a 1 on the hunger die. Isn't that fun?
It is, in fact, fun, because it is now a messy critical. My question is, do you want to take the messy critical? Do you want to spend the 9 move to avoid it? Because you do have a few 9 moves, thanks to Varl and some other people. You do have a couple 9 moves kicking around.
I feel like, given the circumstances and how tenuous the circumstances are, I am going to burn one of those night moves to negate my messy crit and just have a regular type crit.
Excellent. The bullet whizzes by your head as you dodge it, and you hear it hit into the beams, the wooden beams behind you. He's not too far away. You could probably get to him in one action if you wanted. You can see again that the tide's about to break. Your men are getting swarmed. A couple of them have tried to exit out windows and have been shot on the way out, and the flames are getting really bad. You will have one more turn to do something. After that, you will have to start making raw Shrek roll to see if your beast takes over and you run away in fear of the fire. So make this action worth it.
I would like to draw my rapier as I run towards him, and I would like to attempt to slash his throat. Balls, that's only a 13 total.
Unfortunately, I have a 15. As you dodge towards him, you remember the last time the two of you fought. You fought quite a few times before. Always what kind of held you back was the fact that you didn't want to show your full capacity as a vampire. There were too many people about when you fought him. And in that time, he has learned. He's a very good student of combat, and he knows exactly what move you're going to pull as you come charging towards him and aim low and then dip high to try and get him. And he very deftly steps to the side and lets you go by. And as you do, he whips his rapier and hits you in the back of the head, doing 2 damage to you. You need new moves, Amar.
Let's try this on for size, shall we? And I would like to activate the Oh shit, I've got controlling the beast. I could have reverted that combat messy critical into a critical without burning a night move, but that's alright. I'm going to use 4 humours of the mortis. And I would like to manipulate the humour of this victim, inflicting a 2 die penalty on my target. I feel like bilious sounds very fun, so I'm going to poison him.
So you're going to roll your mental. So you're going to roll your 2 dice, your hunger plus your regular dice. You're going to add 3 for your mental, and you're going to add 1 for occult.
That will be 9.
That is not quite enough. You have one more. You have one more night move that you can use to get an automatic success.
Let's do it.
As you do this and activate this Lamia power, you see him get increasingly angry, but he turns a strange shade of yellow or green, and you can tell that he is being affected by his bile. He has difficulty sort of moving, and you can tell that he's being very much rendered uncomfortable and is having difficulty sort of even standing as he's kind of circling, trying to get away from you. However, another round has passed, so I'm going to ask you to make me a Rostrek roll to see if you will avoid running away in fear. In order to do this, you will roll a number of dice of D10 equal to your number of willpower that you currently have.
They're all toggled on, and I don't know if that would be true from last session. Is that right?
I think they're all...
I've got them all ticked on, and I haven't touched them since last we played. So.
Yeah, no, it's possible that it's reversed, like they're all there, so they should be all ticked off for now. Or they're ticked on and you tick them off as you spend them, whichever way you want to do it.
So how many dice am I rolling then?
I would say 5.
Right, 5. Are any of them considered hunger, or are they all just kind of the same?
Just all the same.
Right, thank you for your patience, Twitch, while I figure my life out.
Anything that's a 6 or above is a success.
What if I just jumped in the St. Lawrence River then?
Have you no successes?
No, I do not. Except I did receive a hail from Silver, so thank you.
So you have 2 options. You can either take the hail and get not a success, but that's not going to save you because you needed 3. What you can do is you can spend one of those willpower, which will allow you to not flee for 1 action, buying you an action, but next round you're going to have to make another roll with only 4.
All right, let's do it.
As you see the flames getting closer and closer to you, you feel your beast sort of start to activate, and you feel it start to growl, and you feel it, and you know you got to do something like chop chop, or this is just not going to go well.
Thank you, Val, for that hail as well. I would like... okay, so I'm seeing him poisoned. Are the flames nearby him? Like, if I were to...
Yeah, there's fire pretty much everywhere here. The building's on fire.
All right, on the way out, what I would really like to do is plant a kick right into his sternum and send him into the flames.
Okay, let's do an attack roll.
So I add that hunger die back in, right? Okay, same thing as before. All right. Ooh, yes, love that. That's going to be 17.
That's quite good. You reach out as you run past him and kick him so that he goes stumbling down. As you do that, he had pulled out his second pistol and was about to shoot at you. And as you kick him, he goes flying back, and as he falls, he pulls the trigger and the bullet whizzes by you harmlessly. But you hear a scream behind you. Someone's been hit.
I turn and look. Who is it?
You see Morag, blood pouring down the front of her shirt, look at you in surprise and then stumble to the ground.
I immediately double back and just run to her and just like fireman carry, sling her over my shoulder, and I book it out of here before this place collapses.
You grab her, throw over your shoulder. As you start running towards the door, you feel a sharp pain in your leg as you run. Moncrief, who has kind of pulled himself up and it's partially on fire, his pants are on fire. He has thrown himself forward and whipped his sword and caught you right in the back of the leg, right in the Achilles tendon, and sliced it clean open. You take 2 more damage from this attack. As he stumbles down, you fall to the ground. You drop Morag, who rolls on the floor. Moncrief, he says, "You bastard!" And he comes up and he's got his blade out and he's grabbing your leg and he's trying to crawl on you, and he's on fire, and you can tell that he's coming and he's gonna like crawl all over you as he's again set on fire. And you see the fire, and the fire is just starting to drive your beast crazy. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to give me another willpower roll. Roll a number of dice equal to your willpower.
That's 2 successes.
Fortunately, you need 3, so you'll need to spend another willpower to keep control for another round. He is on top of you now. His lower body on fire, his blade stabbing at you. Morag is on the ground next to you. She is just unmoving. You see the blood pouring from where the bullet hit her right in the chest, and it's just pouring it. She's trying very feebly to kind of claw towards you. What would you like to do?
He's on top of me.
He's like on your legs, and he's kind of pulling himself up.
I am going to kick him as hard as I possibly can, right in the face.
You go ahead and make your roll. You are somewhat disabled, so I'm going to say that you are going to take a 3-point penalty on your combat. But go ahead and roll your strength and...
Could I pivot to something else?
Sure.
I'd like to pivot to Brutal Feed and use Savage Kiss on him, if I may.
Okay, so instead of pushing him back, you want to grab him and haul him up. And okay, so go ahead and make... you're going to make a physical in combat roll again on that.
That's another 17.
Excellent. You grab him and pull him up to you and describe what happens. Describe what this looks like as you distend your jaw and just use brutal feed on him.
Much like a viper opening its jaws all the way, you see that Amar's, it's almost dislocated and swung down her jaw. And you see these very vicious, lethal teeth, almost serrated at the ends and ending in these into kind of like very fine, sharp points like a serpent extend out. And she immediately, as she's doing this, has Moncrief by the collar, who's on fire, and you see the kind of reptilian nictitating eyeballs that she's got, and she turns him, craning his neck over, and bites into the vein. And as she does, she pulls as if almost the anachronistic image of a child guzzling a Capri Sun in one go. She just sucks the ever-loving life out of him, and torrents of blood just fill her mouth and just run down the sides. And as she's doing it, he can't even get a scream out.
And as you finish with him and blood is pouring down your throat and he is a husk of a man completely destroyed, the men around you seem to fade away, and you turn and you look at Morag, and Morag's eyes are wide, and she knows that there's something about you. She's your ghoul after all. But seeing this savage vampiric horror in front of her face, you see her eyes go wide, and you see her pale as she is, about to faint. I'm going to need you to either make another willpower roll or to spend a willpower to, again, keep control in front of the flames, and then tell me what you want to do.
Would I gain anything back for having drained him?
Yeah, we'll say you can heal your wounds.
Right then. I'm going to just try rolling for it, and then if I fuck it up, then I'll burn that willpower. Is that right? Well, I got one success and I needed 3, so I cocked it right up, so I'm going to spend a willpower and not be afraid of these flames.
No problem. You, again, exert your will on your beast, which is raging like an animal inside a cage right now. You can feel it inside of you, just kind of battling back and forth. What do you want to do then? You have control for a few more moments. The fighters are scattering, the soldiers and your men are kind of scattering everywhere. There's just Morag there who's dying in you.
I would just grab Morag and kind of pull her as far away from the flames as I can, and kind of just gently, as gently as I can, kind of like grasping her and saying, "Stay with me. It's all right. Stay with me. It's okay. Hey."
What? I can't. I don't even know what that was. I'm done for. Captain.
No, you're not. You're not. Look at me. There's a solution. We can solve this. We can do this. Yes, we can get you through it.
No, I don't want this, Captain. I just let me go, Captain. I can't be like that. I can't be like that thing I just saw.
Morag, I need you. We have a very, very important mission to complete, and without you, it's not possible. Please, you're just delirious.
Her eyes are fluttering, and you can see that she's lost so much blood. Her pulse in your arms is down to almost nothing. It's very slow and very faint, and her skin is completely pale and drawn now, and her head is looping down and is just losing everything. You are moments away from losing her. What do you want to do?
I'm going to embrace her.
What does that look like?
Amar respects Morag deeply, and says, "I'm so sorry that I need you to stay, please." And she's going to just, presumably she's got a weapon or something nearby, and instead of kind of being horrific about it, she is going to just slice very gingerly across her collarbone, and say, "It'll only hurt for a moment, I promise," and just tilts her head and bites. And as she does, she then hovers over Morag's mouth, holding it open, kind of like you would be resuscitating someone you've just pulled from the water, and drizzling her vitae into her mouth.
Eventually, men from all around start arriving, hauling buckets of water and doing what they can to stop the flames before they spread. There's true horror of the fire here now in London since the Great Fires recently, and the people come from everywhere, and everyone's lending a hand to stop this flame. No one even notices the dead bodies for a long while. You slinked off with Morag and found a quiet place in the shadow of another theater, one that is closed. You hold her in your arms for a little while, and in moments you can see the transformation has taken. You slip off into the shadows and find an unsuspecting victim, one of the men who's loitering around, gawking rather than helping, and you haul him into the shadows with you, and you rip his throat and present him to Morag, and in her first dreadful hunger, Morag falls on him and drinks him, and a little while later, bells are tolling and the fire seems to be under control, and Morag looks to you from the dead body of the man she has just drained and says, Is this what it is then now? Is this how I survive?
Yes, I'm very sorry. I'm so incredibly sorry. I understand. Well, no time to get sentimental then, is it? But yes. Yes.
I guess we better not linger here. What do we do then?
I need you to ready the ship, please. We are going and rescuing the Lady Artemisia, and we are fleeing London.
Aye, aye, Captain. And she pulls her sword from the ground and slips it into her scabbard and takes one last look at the man on the ground and wipes the remaining blood off her chin and says, This is what it is then. And she turns and disappears into the shadows, running off towards where you know your ship is anchored south of the city. What do you do?
I mutter to myself, she will never forgive me for this. And I pull myself up and don't even bother trying to clean myself up in any capacity. We have to go. And I immediately head to the theatre, where I know the performance is likely near the end.
You approach the theater. You can see that the place has been emptied. All the spectators have run out the first cry of fire and went to help at the nearby inn. The place is dark and has this strange expectant quality about it, like as if perhaps the people inside are waiting to continue the play whenever this interruption is over. And as you slink by and approach, you hear a voice. A man you don't know calls out to you. Would you happen to be the Lady Artemisia's friend then?
And who am I speaking to?
Lord Woolcroft, Sheriff of London, in service to Prince Valens. I have been tasked with keeping an eye out for you and bringing you to the Prince himself as soon as you arrive. So, unless you plan on making this difficult on me.
Well, the Sheriff of fucking Nottingham. Are you going to make this difficult on me?
You don't have to be a cunt about it. Just come along. The lady's waiting for you, as are the others. There's no use in getting down to ungentlemanly conduct at this particular time.
Call me a cunt again and see how ungentlemanly I can be, but very well. lead on.
Come on, you prick. He leads you inside the theater. It is dark. It is quiet. The play seems to have stopped right in the middle of a scene. The set is still up there. The stagehands have not yet come about to dismantle anything. The actors are not there. As you walk in, you hear footsteps emanating from the center of the room. Someone walking on the planks of the stage, and when you look down, lit by only the candles at the footlights on the stage, you see Artemisia, not Rochester, but Artemisia, whose face you have not seen as Artemisia's in quite some time, and she is walking the planks, and as she does, she says,
"Corrupters of my faith, you shall no more be closer to my heart. Thus may poor fools believe false teachers, though those that are betrayed do feel the treason sharply. Yet the traitor stands in worst case of woe."
You look down upon her, hear her words, and get a sense of what is transpiring. And then, upon the stage, joining Artemisia, you see a number of people, among them Killigrew. You see Orange Moll, and you see a man you had not met yet, but whose unmistakable aura of power and command marks him as Prince Solomon Valence, the Prince of London. And he looks up into the seats where you are standing, and he says, "Don't keep us waiting. Join us. This play is drawn long enough as it is. It is time for the curtain to fall." What do you do?
Amar just stares. Right at Artemisia. No one else in the room matters.
My ears have been bent every which way tonight with talks of treachery and deception and snakes in the grass in my own city. I grow tired of all of it. There was a perfectly fine play being put on, and now, because of all this nonsense, we'll have to sit through it entirely again before we can get to the end of it. But thank you very much, would-be heroes, for the raid. We greatly appreciate you. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade. It does contain some mature subject, so please take that into consideration. I have heard enough, however, to know that there is a plot. Plot that, fortunately for you, will not come to pass. You have been very lucky. There are people here, and he points to Dario, that you see now standing near Artemisia, who have spoken for you, Pirate Queen, who have made deals for you and for the others, and, well, you're free to go. However, you will not be free to go wherever you want. Woolcroft here will take you to the docks. He will put you on the first ship leaving London. I don't care one whit where it goes, you will be on it. and you will disappear. The rest of your crew, whichever can be collected, will be kept as collateral, and I will promise you myself that if you do leave London, they will be released within a week after you have gone. And that is the best offer you are going to get tonight. Do you accept, Pirate Queen, or do we have to entertain less savory thoughts, less civilized thoughts here in this wonderful place of art and knowledge?
I am no fool. Though some here might think I'm foolhardy, I am not. Therefore I accept with gratitude.
Very well. Then it is settled. He looks to you, Artemisia, the prince does. And he says, I understand that you have some connection to this woman. If you wish to have a moment to say goodbyes, you may have it, but I grow very weary, so do not make it overlong. Keep your dialogue to the bare minimum.
She steps forward to the prince first. Might I ask one last thing of you?
He looks over to your brother and says, this is starting to cost me dearly. What do you want?
The one, silver-tongued Eddie, the one who is known this worm. You know of me and how I've been the king's ear, but I would like to make the request that perhaps he be taken care of. He is a base and vile creature. And on this night he has turned against us, and he will soon enough turn against you, Prince. As I am a member of good standing in your court, and an elder of Clan Giovanni, I demand satisfaction against this worm.
You see Silver-Tongue Eddie pale and scurry to hide behind Kilgrew, his master. You now, of course, understand, Amar, as you see this, that Silver-Tongue Eddie worked for Kilgrew, and that's how he knew of Orange Moll's plans. The prince turns to Kilgrew and says, is that worm worth anything to you? And Kilgrew, looking at his prince and then at you, says, he has done what he was supposed to do. He has outlived his usefulness. I care not one whit what this witch wishes to do with him. Sir, I have served you so faithfully. And Silver-Tongue, and he falls on his knees and starts to grovel at the feet of Kilgrew, grabbing at his robes, and Kilgrew just pulls his robes and then puts his foot in Silver-Tongue Eddie's face and pushes him away, and he rolls like, sir, please, I have served you so faithfully all these years. He's like, silence, worm. You are nothing. You are lower than low, the basest of the based. Looks to you. Lady Artemisia, do what you will with him. I care not.
Artemisia's eyes drift over to Amar, and she nods to her, and then looks down to Eddie in disgust. He is yours.
Oh, with pleasure. And Artemisia will see Amar draw a lethal-looking blade from her hip and nod to the sheriff and say, I'm sorry, Naughty. Would you do me a kindness, please, and just ensure that the worm here doesn't move?
And a cruel, self-satisfied smile comes over the sheriff's face, and he's like, this worm? With pleasure. And he rushes forward in a moment and grabs Eddie, who had been trying to get up and run away, and he grabs him by the back of his neck and lifts him up and turns over and brings him towards you. How would you like me to present him to you?
Have one of your men keep his hands bound. You, my dear friend, if you wouldn't mind just pulling his tongue slightly out of his mouth for me.
That's vile and disgusting. Who knows where that tongue has been in one of his men? Go ahead.
I do.
One of his men comes over and grabs him, and he's like, no, please don't. And the sheriff pops his claws, his gangrel, and he pops his claws, and he inserts them in Silvertongue in his mouth, and he pries his mouth open, and then with his claws reaches as far inside the mouth as he can, pushes the claws in, and just pulls the tongue out. And he's got a pretty significant tongue. He's not called Silvertongue Eddie for no reason. And this Gene Simmons kind of thing plops out of his mouth, and he's like, you can see fear in his eyes as he's sweating and screaming, and you can tell that he's soiling himself, the smell of it just filling the entire theater.
No dignity, even in death. And Amar picks up the tongue, opens his mouth wide, and rams her fist all the way down his throat. And while she's in there, I feel like I could unleash... I feel like as soon as I get down and feel some innards, I would do Relentless Grasp and just squeeze as tightly as I can and liquefy him from the inside.
Well... that's pretty graphic. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and make a humanity roll. Let's see if you get a stain. Roll, you currently have 5 humanity, so go ahead and roll those 5 dice for me.
And I'm looking for 6s.
That's right.
How many do I need?
For this, you're going to need 3.
I got 2 8s, a 9, and a 10, so...
Excellent. You do not lose any further humanity as you justify to yourself this particular action. Silvertongue Eddie in moments is dead. He's just this dangling sack of wet flesh, soiled and smelly and just all around disgusting. And as soon as you're done, the sheriff makes a face and he grabs and he throws the body at his man. He's like, take this out back and burn it. We don't need it. It's pestilence spreading throughout the city. And his men kind of hustle with it, leaving a trail of disgusting fluids and blood on the stage as they trail him out. And you watch this trail of blood just soak into the boards of the theater as they drag him out.
Amar just flicks the viscera off of her and finds some sort of cloth to wipe it off, and is just making eye contact with Artemisia. And the justification for not having a stain on her soul would be that she'd never loved someone so deeply. And if this whelp was what got in the way, then that's what happens to people who get in the way.
The prince looks at Dario, says, well, looks like we all get to go home with something tonight. You get your sister, and I get Orange Moll. Killigrew gets Nell. Everyone's happy, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, never ruin my night at the theater again, or I will have all of your heads mounted on spikes outside the city wall. We don't do that anymore. We are a civilized place in London, but by God, I will bring back the barbarity if my theater is to suffer. He looks at you, Amar. First boat out of the city. I don't care what time it leaves. I'll release your people a week from now if you're gone. And with that, he turns, exits out the shadows, and with him his presence goes, and you all feel like something is gone. Like his presence was incredibly potent, and now that he's slipped out, you all feel a little bit more at ease. And the sheriff looks to you, Amar. He says, "If you're gonna blubber about, make it quick. I'll be outside. Don't make me wait too long, and certainly don't make me come look for you."
Very well, Naughty. Be there in a quick.
Dario looks at you, Artemisia, and says, "I have a coach outside. Just in the back alley. I'll wait for you there when you're done." "Goodbye, Amar. It was nice seeing you again. I'm glad to see that you're not as dead as Decimus told us you are."
I can't say the same for you, Dario. I hope we never see each other again.
Well, hope springs eternal. And with everyone leaving and clearing the stage, there's just the two of you left in this darkened theater. A long trail of blood bisecting the floor, and the footlights slowly getting dimmer as the candles are nearing the end of their life. And it's just the two of you.
Artemisia is standing where she stood this whole time. She's not once taken her eyes off you. Only once to address the prince, but since not once. Not when Dario said his goodbye or his snide comments and left. She's just watching you.
Do you know Measure for Measure?
I did not.
Act 2, Scene 2. Isabella says, "Could great men thunder as Jove himself does? Jove would never be quiet, for every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt split the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft myrtle. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven, and makes the angels weep, who with our spleens would all themselves laugh mortal." These fucking men again.
Always is. Artemisia closes the distance. I'm afraid I was left with no choice.
I don't blame you.
This is not goodbye forever.
Certainly not.
I can assure you that I will weather oceans of time to see your face again.
And I thought I was the ship's captain. Darling, you'll never leave my side, nor my heart. And oceans of time mean nothing if it means that one day soon, or one day far, I get to see your sweet face.
She reaches into her pocket. She pulls out that little stone, places a kiss on it, and hands it to you. You keep this safe for me. To the next we meet.
Trading trinkets for eternity. Quite a love story.
Is rather romantic, isn't it?
And once again, Amar just tucks that stray strand of hair behind Artemisia's ear. If ever you're doubtful, or scared, or worried, look to the western skies, where the sun sets, for we are night creatures. Anytime your heart feels low, look west. See the moon rising. Find the North Star, for my sky is yours, and yours is mine. And you are imprinted on the heavens for me.
I thought I was supposed to be the poet.
You are.
Aren't you going to kiss me before I go?
Yes. And she does.
As you walk towards the backstage, Artemisia, you hear the prince's voice as he says, and hear the famous Orange Moll, brought low in the very theater she defiled with her very debased presence. And she says to him, Prince Valens, if you're going to harangue me, at least use my actual name. You owe me at least that much respect for all the information I've shared with you over the years. Very well, Lady Ophelia Merritt. My real name. And the prince smiles. Very well, Kementiri, progeny of Set. And you slip outside and find your brother waiting for you in his coach. He opens the door. Dry your tears, sister. Time has a way of folding back in on itself. I'm sure you two will see each other again someday if it is meant to be.
She stares at him wordlessly.
Come on, get in.
She climbs in and sits down.
And closes the door. We have work to do. Return to Italy next month. This place is filthy. I've had enough of it. Just need a few more weeks to finalize things with Prince Valens. You can use that time to set your affairs in order and prepare for the trip. We'll head to Italy, Rome. I have some unfinished business with the church.
Planning to take on the whole church, shall we?
See, the orders that galvanized the Giovanni into attacking us, killing our father and forcing us to flee our home of Constantinople, came from somewhere within the Catholic Church. Our mutual friend, Decimus, knows a lot more about this than he ever told either of us. I plan to find him and ask him for details and then use them against the very church that he has served for so long. Is there anything I can do for you before we leave to soften the blow to your heart?
What is it that you think you could do for me?
Well, I could. And you hear a knock on the coach door, and he turns to see who it is. And you see there Orange Moll standing there. And she smiles. And Dario looks up in the door and goes, "What on earth do you want?" And she looks at him, and you see her eyes change, and they become like the eyes of a snake. And she says, "Leave us and travel by foot to the Basilica in Rome, stopping only to hide from the sun. Be gone." And without another word, Dario jumps out of the vehicle and starts walking. She climbs aboard, closes the door behind her. "Well, sweet Rochester, shall we away before any of these nasty men come to their senses? My dominate powers will only last so long on them, especially your brother. He is quite tenacious, that one, but if we make ourselves scarce before long, I think we might be able to put enough distance between us and them. What do you say?"
It's a nice trick you have. Enjoyed it. Would have been better if you told him to walk into the sun, though.
Well, unfortunately, I am not quite capable of that, especially against one as old and powerful as your brother, but I promise to work on that. Next time I see him, I'll perhaps let him know that that is what we would like him to do. But for now, if you're ready, and she bangs on the coach's wall, "Get on with it, man! The Merritt Estate's in Oxford. I trust you know how to get there and don't need a map." And she turns to you and says, "Well, you've certainly changed since the last time I saw you." She starts to pull her bodice open and undo her top, and
Artemisia
where were we?
Stops her, leans forward from her seat in the coach, takes both of her hands and closes her bodice. Perhaps a little bit of a reintroduction is in order. She holds her hand out then. Perhaps we were both playing the role of someone we weren't. My name is Artemisia. What is yours?
I have many names, Artemisia. Some that I like more than others, but if Orange Moll is not suitable for you, then perhaps Lady Ophelia Merritt will. We are going to my estates, after all. But if that name doesn't suit you either, I have plenty others that you can choose from. I've been around for a while, and I do like to get in trouble. It's kind of fun, isn't it? We did have fun last night, did we not?
We did. Unfortunately, I'm not quite that girl anymore. Or that man.
Pity, but I can tell that you're hurting. Heartbroken, are you?
She looks out the window to the sky. I think my heart will be just fine.
Tragic, she says, and leans back and covers herself up and just stares at you. We'll be fine. Over on the London docks, the London docks at night are a dark, brooding place, heavy with the smells of the Thames and the goods of empire. Illumination is scarce, no gaslight yet, and only the faint glow of oil lamps or tallow candles spilling out from tavern windows, ship holes, or the occasional lantern swinging from a hook on a post. The moon and stars, when visible through the mist and smoke, do more to light the cobbled quays than anything man-made. Ships loom in the dark like hulking shadows, merchant vessels from the East Indies, Dutch flights, coastal barks. Their rigging creaks in the breeze and canvas flaps like distant whispers. Ropes slap against masts with a steady, rhythmic clatter, and every now and then a sailor's shout rings out, hoarse, foreign, drunk, or all three. The river itself is alive with movement even at night, lightermen poling their flatboats between the docks and larger ships. Smugglers slipping by silently, avoiding the gaze of excisemen, rats scurrying across the wooden planks and over sacks of spices, tobacco, or wool, while dogs bark in the distance and the occasional scream or drunken brawl echoes from a nearby alley. The air, rank with brine, tar, rotting wood, human sweat, fish, and horse dung, and somewhere a fiddler plays in a dockside tavern, the music muffled by thick walls and the roar of voices inside. Nearby, stevedores are still working under torchlight, unloading cargo late to avoid port fees, their shadows flickering on crates marked with strange symbols. There's a feeling in the air, restless, tense. The docks feel it too. Soldiers return from exile or war, Royal Navy ships outfitting again, rumors of wealth, revenge, and opportunity drifting with the fog off the river. London is changing in the wake of the Great Fire, but here at the water's edge, amid the shadows and bustle, life goes on. Dangerous, dirty, and ceaseless. You approach a ship ready to sail a catch. The sheriff looks to you, Amar, and says, "This one will do just fine." And he looks up and he yells out, "Oh there! Where do you sail to?" You see a sailor's head pop over the side of the railing. "To the Hudson's Bay in the colonies." Sheriff looks at you. "I've never heard of Hudson's Bay, but I'm sure you'll like it there."
Ships sail both ways, Sir Walcroft. Beware the turning of the tide, huh?
And with that, he turns and walks away from you, whistling a little song that you don't recognize.
Fucking colonizers. Oh there. What's the ship's called?
From the shadows near you, a woman's voice answers. "The Nonsuch, I'm told. Meaning that there are no others like it."
And who might you be?
The woman steps out from the shadows, and you immediately recognize her as Kindred also. She has dark skin, beautiful eyes, and wears robe and a scarf that cover most of her body and features. She steps forward. "My name is Asanath al-Bakir. I'm from Egypt. And you are?"
Amar al-Hadin.
She switches to Arabic. "Fortuitous of us meeting like this in such a time."
Amar's accent as she speaks in her native Arabic, which now is in Syria, is very melodic, known as the singers in that region. Why are you here?
I'm afraid I've angered some people and they're after me. I am simply trying to leave as soon as I can, but you seem to be someone very capable. I would make you a bargain. I have arranged passage on this ship already in a manner that will ensure that I am not disturbed during the day. share my quarters with you. It would be a little cramped, but I'm sure we could make do. And in exchange, I would simply ask that you lend your confidence and your presence and ensure my security for the travel only. Once we make landfall, I am very happy to make my own way, but I fear that they might slip an agent or two amongst this boat, and I would not have the people here endangered because of me.
What is your blood?
Unfortunately, my creator did not see fit to inform me.
Understood. I'm one of the watchers, the keepers. I'd be happy to help a fellow sister.
It is the divine God's grace that you are here tonight, and I'm very thankful for it. Amar, Eldin, and she reaches out and takes your hands and brings them to her forehead. I trust you will keep me safe.
Of course. They'll probably call me the Pirate Queen. Or the Viper. Just so you know.
And what shall I call you?
Amar.
The two of you board the ship. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow leaps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thank you, my friends, for having joined us in this, the last episode of our Cleave miniseries. We appreciate all of you. Thank you to Darling Creepshow and Helena Handbasket, my two wonderful, lovely players. Thank you to Varl and Raven Sarah, our two wonderful mods. Thank you to all of you who have come and watched us and enjoyed this little series. We will definitely return. Until then, have a good evening. We'll see you next time.